Hello, hello. Hang on 1 minute. I'm not done yet. Ah, happy Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Um, it's been a busy morning. I, I probably should consider changing my Hans. You just made it a time. Excellent. I should probably consider changing my stream time on Tuesdays because um, I coordinate my lunch with Lisa, and Lisa's lunch is at 1, from 1 to 2. And I mean, normally it's not a problem. Uh, but today, like, everything was going on. You walked in the door 30 seconds ago. You could take a day off here and there. You'd be okay with it. Well, then I wouldn't get any pens done. Um, I probably should one of these days. I do have a tendency to burn out a little bit. Didn't even change my water here. Well, we'll see what happens. I had a Zoom call in the middle of trying to finalize an order. And then Lisa got an off lunch and she didn't know I was trying to finalize this order with the manufacturer. And so she emailed them about the invoice. I'm like, hang on. Hang on. Everybody say hang on. My daughter came over yesterday. She was shooting pictures. And then somehow, good afternoon, Vlad. Somehow lost the SD card that had all the images for everything that she shot, and had to come back and reshoot everything and was here. So I felt kind of bad for her. So it's been a rough 24 hours for, I think, everybody. Lisa's having a hard day. I got some fun stuff to show today. So let's see. I really hope that we can finish something because I've like started a lot of things. I guess I should, let's see who's over on the YouTube side. We got Juicy Lucy, Russell, of course, Fruit Jelly. We've got Juice and Jelly. It sounds like a band or something. Dawn, hello, DRZ. Doctors, is it Doctors? I can't ever remember. The pens today will practically fix themselves. Yes, so I do have 3 new ones that came in, and I also have a consignment lot of vintage pens, and we'll show those today. There's some really pretty nice looking pens. I didn't need to test them though. And then I literally maybe 20 minutes ago got in a box another modern consignment lot of some really interesting stuff. And I'm looking at it. All I did was literally open the box and take out the packing materials. And I can see the boxes on top. I'm very pleased to denote that everything is in the box. And you'll understand why I said that when we get to that point in the stream today. We may never fix a single pen today. I don't know. There's so much cool stuff to look at. I did bring the 2 pens that I am keeping from Friday's acquisition. We'll talk about those. Probably do those first, get those out of the way. And we've got the touchdowns that from yesterday that we need to seal up. The Snorkel that was not behaving, which I neglected to do anything with, so we'll have to hack at that. And the Esterbrook's that really need to get done sometime. Lots of Monteverde and Modern Conklin boxes. No, you especially will love this box. I guarantee it. And I will probably be asking for your help later today on this box. But let's get started. Let me organize things here first so I don't And I should mention, I decided this morning I had an extra 10 minutes. I brought in the lathe. I promptly brought it in and set it down off to my left. It hasn't. I've been too busy this morning to even. I know where I want to put it. It's unfortunately not anywhere near. I mean, it's near, but it's not near where the camera is. But it can only really go one place here. That's going to be out of the way since I'm not going to use it all the time. It needs to go kind of over. I've got a table off to my right here where I have some parts and things. But I did bring the lathe in. Maybe tomorrow if I have time, or I don't know. We'll see. It's been just a nutty week. A couple things I'd love to tell you about, but I can't tell you about. So anyway, let's take a look at what is here today. So these two pens came with the pens that I showed off yesterday. You used your lathe this past weekend. Read the manual first to see how to recommission it. Probably needs some lubrication and checks, maybe a new belt. Yeah, it does come with. I'll take some pictures and send it to you later. It comes with an extra box. It's a Unimat with the original manual and extra stuff. I might even have it. I have to check. There might be a third box somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, these were along with a lot of the pens that I showed yesterday, and these are the two that I'm going to keep. Boxes reminds you need to drop off those couple hundred boxes to me. I'm people who buy vintage pens and they buy sets and things like that. I actually have a box of like 51 boxes and Snorkel boxes and things like that. I'm trying to remember to, like, I just had it this morning. Somebody bought a 51 set. I'm like, oh, I've got a box for them because I don't offer that. The set comes with the box. If I remember, I throw it in there and it's a nice little add-on. So, but this guy here, pretty cool. I saw this and I said, I kind of have to have this. It needs a little help. Actually, now that I look at it, is it a little bit wobbly? That's not too bad though. I guess it's considered oversized. Is an oversized secretary. That does not have the secretary nib, unfortunately. Yeah, it looks there's something a little off about it. It's not too bad though. Yeah, it looks like it kind of goes just a little bit. It's got a 730 nib on it, which isn't too bad. But not the correct secretary nib. No cracks. Clips a little bit loose, not too much. In fact, I had it in my pocket for a little bit the other day, and I decided I wasn't gonna continue to do that. But I think that's a good enough example for me to keep. It's kind of a neat pen. So we got that one. And maybe the wrong feed too. Yeah, we'll talk about that now. Yeah, sorry, Hans. It's been nuts today. I know you've been busy. And when you said you were driving, I'm like, yeah, I'm not texting you anymore. And I was talking with your brother for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. So yeah, so we got some work to do on this. I probably have a feed for it if it's incorrect. I really don't know. I've only ever had one. I know they exist, but that's it. And this guy is kind of a disaster. You can see this big crack, chip out of it. There's a crack that goes here and around all the way around the side. Keeps going and ends right about there. Jackknife safety. It has a number 4 nib, but it's actually, and of course it's missing the blind cap, but it's big. It's like senior girth. So originally I thought it was a 24.5. I actually was able to scarce up a 24 blind cap, but it's way too small. It was also an earlier blind cap. It had the knurling on it, so yeah, it wouldn't have been right. But yeah, so this requires a massive blind cap. Chased, of course. I got to clean this up. But it's one of these things where, what do you do with this? You can't really sell this. It's got a crack. I mean, yeah, maybe we could restore it, but I don't even have a correct size. I mean, I guess I could put a later, I didn't check, but maybe a later senior size, which would probably be incorrect for this pen, but a senior size blind cap would fit on there just to cover that up. But I don't have this. This is kind of an unusual pen. And I said, well, I wouldn't sell it. I would not sell something like this. It would be hard to do so. I forget, is the nib. The nib is actually decent. Lucky curve on the nib. But I decided, you know what, and I normally don't like to do this. I don't, if there's a pen that's kind of that bad, it's more parts than it should be in the, in the pen case. But you don't run across these every day. You just don't. It's massive. And, maybe someday I'll bet you the Fat Schaefer Lifetime golf pens. Yeah. I mean, it's obnoxious. It looks like a 25 I just got recently, which of course has the number 5 size nib. You wonder if it's the same blind cap as the 28.5. I wonder. Yeah. I don't have a 28, but I thought, what the hell? I do enjoy. I never set out to be a Parker collector, but living in Wisconsin, you find this stuff, and I do enjoy the early hard rubber Parkers. I'm not interested in really much in the way of anything past 1930. Don't care for Vax. I'll collect a 51 here or there. Don't care about 61s at all. 75. Yeah, that's nice. How many do you need? One. Sterling. And 45s, I like them, but you don't need 50. But hard rubber, forget it. All bets are off. Every variation I want. So yeah. So it's a worthy little project pen. Maybe I'll find another one somewhere down the road that's got a bad nib or a bad barrel, but it's got a good cap, and maybe I can make the two of them. Yeah. So getting back to this guy, yeah. If it's marked as a store loaner pen, you might expect a 730, but without markings, it should have a secretary. Yeah. And the 730, yeah, nice to have. It's pretty hard to find it, right? And that's exactly what my good friend Hans has told me. So, so there it is. So those two are going to be nice additions. We'll restore this at some point. I'm working on the nib. And if it's not the right feed, then I'll figure that out. We got these guys. We'll talk about. Well, we were working on those yesterday. Let me see. I'm just not a big Schaefer collector, but I like some of the early stuff. Let's see. What is this mess over here? Oh, that's mess. Okay. All right, so these came in yesterday. Thank you, Hans. Didn't know that. These came in yesterday on consignment. There's a couple in here we are going to fix. Just oh my goodness. So my understanding is we're going to test these all hopefully today. Olive Octopus doing a raid. Hello, thank you, welcome everybody. You're just in time for some. We're not repairing pens yet. If you don't have the right feed, try 5-star pens. Yeah, pen tooling. Okay. I might have some of the parts bins. Hey, Spicy. Atalane Splish. Is that how you pronounce it? Did I pronounce it right? My apologies if I didn't. Hello, Octopus. Good afternoon. We're just showing off these pens that came in yesterday on consignment. My understanding is that all except 2 are fully restored, so we'll test those today maybe. Take a look at this. This material. Is this not super cool? Diamond point pen and pencil set in this like gray and copper bronze. It's really, I mean, for a 2.5 tier pen, they made really some nice. It's got a visualized section. It's got a steel nib, but a nice looking nib. And this is new diamond point. Just to focus on the nib here. Got these little feathers kind of at the top. So this was at the, after change of ownership. I like diamond points. I usually don't get into the plastic stuff because the quality really drops down after the hard rubber era. But this is nice. It's really nice. And even better, matching mechanical pencil. You think Diamond Point and Eclipse out of Chicago bought from the same supplier? Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's super pretty. It's super pretty. Does the pencil work? I don't know. Mechanism appears to work. It doesn't have lead in it. Look at this guy. When I opened this up, I thought for sure this was a modern balance because it was so nice. So nice. Really a nice balance. I like that a lot. That's a really great pen. As is this one here. It appears like it seals pretty good, so sometimes I like these without the white dot because I just love the simplicity of the non-white dot striped balance. It's really nice. It's really nice. Yeah. Yeah, the minty, this hump clip, yeah, it is minty. It's really nice. I've been like kind of blown away by these. They're I say I have low expectations sometimes when people send me vintage pens, and these came in. I was like, wow, they're great. This one, look at this. Maybe Todd. Was this a blackbird? Probably. Oh, it's a swan. This is a swan. Look at this green marble. Is this not the prettiest? It's just so gorgeous. So gorgeous. We got another swan. Kind of a basic black, but really, really nice condition. I mean, these are, I normally when I get vintage pens, I expect that there's going to be work involved, and these look like they're ready to go. I love these. Lever filler, that big conical nib. I'm going to polish that up a little bit maybe, but yeah, maybe Todd had great nibs, didn't they? This is a good looking pen. Really a good looking pen. Fat. Maybe the least exciting pen in the bunch. I don't know. 1940s Waterman. I don't know much about 1940s Watermans other than, this is a 1940s Waterman. This is Canadian, so the nib is probably very flexible. Not really. But it does have a really cool engraving on the barrel. Would be something interesting to check out. It says SPR Walter H. Davis from the village of Exeter. So still good looking. 51. This one, I think, nothing outrageous. Navy gray, but a good shape, good cap, good jewel, tight clip. Thank goodness. But look at this guy, Commando. Yeah, I can never remember. Look at this. Are you kidding me? I mean, where did this live for the last 100 years? I mean, you can see how shiny it is, how the light's reflecting off the barrel. 52. Got kind of a little bit of a springy nib. The only bummer part is somebody scratched their initial on the bottom of a big M through the 52, but the rest of it is just really, really perfect. No, the chasing's not polished away at all. It's not polished away. We got a little bit of maybe cleanup here that we can do in the lever box, but it is really, I mean, it looks like it was somebody bought it, they scratched their initial M or maybe W, probably M. I don't know. Into the end, and then they put it away for the rest of its life. It's really, really a nice looking 52. We've got a VAC Junior. They got some nice barrel transparency. I can see through it. This one we are going to repair because I do believe this one needs to be restored. Got another Waterman. Kind of nice kind of striping on this one. This is really nice. It's like maybe a broad nib. Got a touchdown that definitely needs some assistance here. Still got some suction on it though, so it just needs to be. Is it SPR on that Waterman? SPR. What do you mean by SPR? Now, this is a 503 from England. W2A on the nib. And then we have a 52 wood grain. Got kind of a nasty crack in the cap. It definitely has a flexible nib. Thank goodness for this cap flip here. That. This is just kind of fun. Imperial Pen and Pencil Company. I mean, look at this. Number 37, maroon. I mean, just spectacular box. We've got the original guarantee. Nassau, New York. Instructions for filling. Look at this. For a third tier pen. Wow. Is this not just outstanding? I mean, super thin gold plating, but it's all there. It's not worn away. We actually have a 14 karat warranted nib in it. Oh, specialist registrar, basically a doctor's consultant. If it's SPR, it's Sapper. Oh. You mean on the this Waterman? Yeah. This one, no. Yeah, SPR, yeah. It's all capitalized. A specialist registrar, basically a doctor's consultant. It's all capitalized. Yeah, everything is capitalized. Sorry, I wasn't sure which one you were referring to. But really cool. Cool material. Very nice. Very nice. You know, is it worth a ton? Not really, but to find one in this condition in the box with the matching pencil. Let's see if I can get the pencil out here without causing any damage. Something's a little fishy with the mechanism. Reminds you of the plastic space on Indian. Yeah. That's what I thought too. Indian. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. Is it worth a lot? No, not really. But with all this packaging, yeah, it's. I mean, you're not going to find another one anytime soon. I guarantee you that. Yeah, these are some nice consignments. I was really, really very pleased with this. And last but not least, I think this is, yes, this 51 I think I am to fix. So, nice little demi-vac. Was this the one? Yeah, the hood is loose on this one. So we got two of these. We're going to, it would look nice in anyone's collection of box pens, including your own. Well, you know where I live. So that's that. That came in yesterday. And so we'll get those later. I just got this other consignment in today. Now these are more modern pens. There is a vintage pen in here. I need to clear room on my desk here because These are all in boxes. So, um, you know your strains with the VAC 51s. You always prefer the demi. Mm-hmm. Now I know what these are, but I have not. This is the first time I'm looking at them. All right. Eeny, meeny. It looks like Christmas in here. Yeah. Yeah, they look like Chinese coffees. I bet they do. Um, I wasn't sure if I was getting the boxes for these. So we got orange. Isn't that nice? I'm gonna make some Capitals collectors happy. Yeah. Yes. Yes. No nib. Uh, oh yeah, that's pushed in, isn't it? Good catch. Man, I hope there's a nib in this thing. Oh no! Don't tell me he sent them without nibs. Oh, there it is. There it is. It fell out. All right. And correct date code on the nib too, so we're good. We're good on that. All right, so we got orange. This next one I really, really like. Isn't that just stunning? Ice green. These are the best boxes they ever made. Yeah. That is just so pretty. This and the what was the other? The ice blue. Was that the name of it? Which I think had maybe the coolest box. I like these, but I like that ice blue box. Is there a problem on Twitch land with the sound? Yeah, the ice blue. Yeah, yeah. At least they had one. I think we've had it twice now, and unfortunately, and we've had to sell it twice. Um, Purple. The ice blue falls apart and the material they use for the trade degrades and yeah, yeah. I think our box the material was degrading. Yeah. Purple. I mean, it's so purpley. If you like purple, this is the purple. Yeah. If you're buying ice blue, check the pan carefully for corrosion. Yeah. Unfortunately, there is no ice blue in this collection. Purple. Purple's the best. Yeah. Um, got ourselves a pink. I mean, that's a pinky pink. Look at that. I mean, these are just outstanding. Really, really good. All right. Vivid pink, is that what they called it? So let me put these off to the side here. I'm looking in the box, and there is one thing in there I'm not liking that I that I am seeing. Just pink. Okay. We got our seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. Look at that. In case you missed out on that special edition. All right. This is maybe one of my favorites in modern times. '60th anniversary, Kanriki. Love this one. I love this one. Why it still smells fresh too. Beautiful. All these are minty, never been inked. All your documentation. What is this nonsense? Uh-oh. God, Friedrich. What do we have here? It suffered because they released another red the year before, yeah. Nice little yellow. I guess that's different than the Mandarin, I think. All right. I believe that is all of the vanishing points. It's hard to tell since they're for you. I don't think that one's it though. Yeah. Well, it's a 60534, so that helps you out. Yeah, 60534. Yeah, yeah. The Mandarin's brighter. It's 2008. But still a nice VP. If you don't have it and you like yellow. So this is a and so the story behind this is this is part of a very large collection, and this is the I don't want to say the test run, but to box up the entire collection really necessitates a truck. Yeah, and I'm not driving across the country to get this. So we're starting with one box at a time, and I was prompted with picking out the first dozen pens, the first 10 to 12 pens. So these are the pens that I picked out. And I don't remember which one this was. Oh, I do remember. Oh, look at this. Snap. Princess Rodden. Sealed. Ugoisu. I mean, it doesn't get. I mean, I know it's. I think they probably still have this one available. But I picked it because I thought, that's a nice. It's a really a nice sailor, and it would probably sell. And my goal was to pick a dozen pens that we could move quickly for him. And I think these will all move reasonably quickly. This next one I picked because I just love it in the grand scheme of things. It is one of the coolest limited editions to some degree for certain reasons. The Balanced Millennium Edition. Now the box is, this is what happens to the 1990s Schaefer's boxes, but got a brand new in the box with the clock, with the, I mean, ridiculous, right? This is just ridiculous. Got the original 230 suggested retail price on this when it was new. Little pen rest. Yeah, I had a collection. Yeah, they flake off just by looking at it. We had a collection, I don't know what, maybe 10 years ago. And the boxes were unfortunately in this person's garage for 10 years. We literally filled up a very large garbage can multiple times with the boxes. We just threw them away. They were just Cap looks good. Yeah, I know this material was really, really pretty thin. Levenger had their own balance version on a Tiger Eye, and I remember I had one of those, and it broke twice. I think we had it repaired, and then under warranty, because I bought it a long time ago, and with the booklet. I mean, just so nice, right? Just really a nice pen. Okay, couple more. I don't remember. I think this was sent to me for repair, but it's a vac, so well, that would be it. um, yeah, it's a vac. All right, and the next two are probably, I won't say the least exciting of the bunch, but um, I thought they were interesting, and I thought that again, my goal is to pick pens that we can move for this client. And this is one that was a limited edition. The Collier in Garolite. Forget how many pieces they actually made of this. But it was a really cool pen. I really liked it when it came out, and we sold every single one we had. We'll need to clean the nib out, obviously, on this one. Yeah, they weren't, the numbers not etched on the barrel. And it's not on the label either. So I could reach out to him and ask him. I just don't remember. I had one last year in another consignment lot. I don't even remember what I charged for it, but I mean, it didn't hang around very long. So I mean, it's just really a really cool pen. And last but not least, I was not expecting this to actually be in a box. So this should not be an expensive set, but it was just different. So but in green, wow. This is an expensive set. This is not what I thought it was going to be. Sterling silver cap, green marble barrel, 18 karat gold nib. Yeah, I was not expecting this actually. So if I'm a little speechless, twist activated. I was thinking garden variety noblesse. It wasn't, going to be much more than $150, $200 pen. Um, this is very nice. This is very, very nice. Um, if I can say it, this is really a sexy look. This pen is really nice. Look at this. Probably, yeah, it snaps onto post. Yeah, more research is necessary on this. What a good looking pen, isn't it? So nice. Oh my goodness. And in the box. Um, so those just came in. If there's anything that is of interest or you want to get in line, I do have to I'm just going to double check them all later. A couple of them look like, the Edison looks like I need to maybe rinse the nib off. It's got some ink on it. I have to come up with prices on it. This one I'm at a loss because it was not at all what I expected it to be. It is clearly leaps and bounds above every other noblesse probably on the planet. So what a set. What a really, really great looking set this is. And those vanishing points are fabulous. So there it is. Yeah, if you don't mind, Hans, I'd love to just get the easy. You might have sent me something a while back that had pricing on some of those, but that may have been a couple of years. So we'll be in touch. We'll take it off of what my side of the equation on everything. Whatever you said is out of date. Yeah. Okay. You do remember it. Okay. At least did the lacquering on that noblesse set. It is, yeah, okay. It's nice. It's really nice, isn't it? Okay, so that's it for show and tell. You probably have time tonight unless you drive 45 minutes to buy a new coffee grinder. Oh man, does that mean your old one broke? Or are you just getting a new one? I'm actually, yeah, so I'm here till 6:30, so when the stream ends, I'm going to be getting caught up with some of my other things. Oh, you're going to upgrade? All right, so what I might do is clean out one of these. I'm just going to put this in here. And I'm going to soak it. And put that in my ultrasonic. we're going to seal these up. Holy moly, you tuned in late and had to run it back when I heard you mention VPs. Your jaw dropped when you saw them. Yeah. There's something special, aren't they? Also high. And the thing is you ought to have seen what the rest of the list looked like. That was the stuff I picked for this batch. Will this be on your website? Yes, it will be on the website. I don't know how quick. Probably next week. But if there was something that you saw that you're interested in, shoot me out an email. And we can talk. If you want to save me the trouble of shooting images and making a listing, you can have first crack. And that goes for anybody. In other words, it all has to wait. Probably until Monday or Tuesday for photography. Editing. SKU creation, as it were. So what you're saying is the next couple of months our wallets are going to hurt. I've been very fortunate to have lots of folks who are interested in consigning some pens. So what I need is I need to move some of this stuff quickly because I now have more consigners than I've ever had in my life. And I need to keep everybody happy. Do I recommend storing an inked Parker Vacuumatic nib up, or does it matter? Why are we storing an inked Parker Vacuumatic? That would be my first question. I know they're a pain to clean. I mean, nib up is always the best option, because, you know, gravity being gravity. Oh, when not in use. He just emailed me. All right, I see it. It will be years before any of that 6,000 pen collection comes in the market. I don't even know what the total number was. I didn't even bother to count. It was so many. So many. Hello? Card cutter? I'll let him know. That was Lisa, by the way. It was not some random stranger that I just... So our limitation now is we have photographer limitations. Who of course is my lovely daughter, and she has to photograph and edit and do all my YouTube thumbnails and shoot the video podcast at the end of the week, and get our newsletter, the weekly mailer organized, and all that jazz. On top of trying to stay on top of all the new product that we're trying to reassemble. So we're trying to figure out how to make that happen. And I had a plan in place, and then this mess exploded in the last 2 days, and so that really is going to throw my plan out of the water. So, sorry, kiddo, if you're watching. Anything new that you're carrying that is particularly exciting to you? Well, see, that's the beauty of this. And I really can't stress this enough. Well, number one, starting over sucks, right? But with it comes the freedom of being able to carry only the stuff that I want to carry. And not the stuff that I have to carry, right? So, blessing and a curse, as it were. We just got in yesterday. I mean, it's so much stuff in 2 days. So much stuff in 2 days. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Brand new Marumon that I've never carried before. And if any of you have followed me long enough, you know I have this affliction for like A7. I think I made a guess the brands of I don't want is huge. I have this affliction for like A7, A6 size pocket notebooks. And I discovered not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, that there was a whole bunch of Marumon that I was not aware of. See, I had always ordered a certain set of SKUs from Marumon. And my distributor admittedly has a not so great website. Now they're working to fix that. They just announced a week or so ago that they've got a new redesign in place, and so I'm excited for that. But I discovered as I was looking through and trying to reorder some of my paper, my Midori and other products, Marumon and stuff, that there was a whole bunch of more of Marumon, and I'm like, oh, wow, reporter notebook, I gotta have that, you know. Greg ruling, I think we need that. So I don't remember the number. It was 8 or 9. Mario, your favorite paper? Yeah. It was like 8 or 9 more SKUs, and in everything from like, you know, little A7 to, you know, A4, some B sizes in there, some non-coil bound. My one beef with Marumon is like it's all coil bound pretty much, except for some of the small stuff. Well, there were a couple of staple bound, which I was very happy to see. You always carry an A7 flip top and a leather holder in your shirt pocket? There's a slew of brands that don't grab your attention. Yeah, they kept it a secret for me. Yeah, Marumon, that's maybe the one Marumon product I don't carry anymore. They made a really lovely little A7 flip top with a leather holder. And I got it because I thought it was cool, and nobody bought it. Like, nobody bought it. And I mean, I had it forever. I think I only bought like 2 of them or 3 of them or whatever, you know, maybe 3. And we sold one out of the gate. Talked about it on the podcast, put it in the newsletter, put it on social media. I almost couldn't give it away. Paper's a hot topic. Lines, graphs, dots, millimeter lines, French rule. What machine did the paper come from? Oh my God! Don't even don't start. Don't start the machine thing. Midori A6 blank to put in your purse for sketching. Great paper, even takes light watercolor washes. Yeah, Midori's great. Really, really great paper. Really great paper. I thought it was Machine 7 or something goofy like that. I could be remembering wrong, but to me, I didn't care. Tend to gravitate towards A5 to carry in your purse for notes, doodles, lists. Yeah, I like A5 too. I do. I you know, and actually, believe it or not, in trying to reinvent ourselves, I said, you know what? What if we, you know, and you do a lot of, um, you do a lot of brainstorming, and like in stupid ideas, like really dumb ideas, but you never know. And one of my ideas was, I hate shipping A4 sized notebooks. I can't stand it. I don't like it. They don't fit very well in just about any priority mail package. It messes with, you know, the general rule of thumb for shipping fees. You know, and then you add a bottle of ink onto it, and then you have no idea what kind of box you can put the stuff in. At one point, I said, you know what? I want to start a business where I don't sell A4. Nothing over A5. I don't want B5. I don't want A4. I want none of that nonsense. But you can't do that. Packaging, yeah. Well, and you know, and we ship via U.S. Postal Service, so which is, um, you know, one of the reasons. Number one, it's easy. They're always here. Um, but your packaging is basically free. Well, I'm starting to rethink that process because sometimes you get, you know, like Visconti ink, it doesn't fit in anything. You know, if I ship something to California, it's a $12 box. So depending on the price, if it ends up going free shipping, and I end up having to pay $12 for it, I'm losing an extra $4 on top of the $8.50 that it cost me, would normally cost me. You know, so you got to put that stuff in, you know, you got to think about those things. Or maybe what I do is I sell A4, but when you buy it, I cut it in half so it fits in the packaging. No, that's not a good idea. Buy a bottle of Visconti ink, I just put it in ink samples, and then it'll go in a smaller box. Probably not. Probably not a good idea. So anyway, back to your question. What was your question? Any product I'm excited about, I think. You have them cut up for free for me. Yeah, yeah. Roll them up, maybe. I roll them up, put them in a tube. We have looked at, you know, and that was another thing. We start looking at experimenting with other packaging options, even if they cost us, you know, 50 cents to acquire the box. It's worth it to save on packing materials and a little bit on shipping cost, you know, for a smaller box. But what am I excited about? Boy, the new Schaefer Legacy, when it comes back next month, I wanted it, if it comes in a green or maybe a burgundy. I mean, any color other than black, that excites me a lot. I think that's going to be a really, that's really going to be something. That's probably the thing I'm maybe most excited about. Yeah, the packaging material that's all finding something that works to protect, but that doesn't cost an arm like can be recycled is hard. Well, so thankfully, 95%, probably higher than that. There's like one vendor. 95% of all of my vendors that I get stuff from, I can reuse and recycle the packing materials. I've got one vendor that still ships in packing peanuts. So I do have those for the really rare occasional odd box that you can't get away. You can't, you need something in little tiny spots. Interestingly enough, my Japanese paper vendors, they have the cleanest. And if it's like, I have one vendor that ships the newspaper, it goes in the trash. It goes in the recycle bin. But the Japanese vendors, their paper is like, that they pack with is insane. I mean, I love it. It's really, really good, and we recycle it. So our packaging costs are very, very small. I'm pretty much set for a long time on repacking materials, but yeah, postage and packaging to the UK is hefty. Um, if there's something you're interested in, and I'll admit, and I've said this before, I'll continue to say it. Shipping outside of the United States is more of an art than a science. If there's something you're looking for, I'm happy to quote you what it is. And usually what I do is I have to set something in the system. There's no good way to do it. And so in order that I don't get burned for, like, paying $20 more, $30 more than what it actually costs to ship something, the shipping outside of the US is I tweak it. I've tweaked it down where it's usually pretty accurate, but if it costs significantly less than what the shipping charges, I always refund the difference. But if there's something you're looking for, I'm happy to kind of put it together and weigh it and package it and let you know what it will cost, and we can go that route. Here by the end of the year, they'll have gold nibs. That's the plan. The plan was to get the legacy in different colors and other nibs other than medium, and gold nibs by the end of the year, maybe even by next month. The washi paper packing is awesome. Fountain pen friendly too for art projects. USPS eliminated letter parcels for overseas. Expecting email something. Yeah, we'll try to work something out. I mean, my goal, actually, I told my accountant this one year, and they thought I was nuts. I said, my goal every year is to just be on this side of losing money on shipping. I'm happy to lose money on shipping. I just don't want to lose a lot of money on shipping. If I lose money on shipping, that means people are getting free shipping. I will never make money on it. In fact, the first time I had a new accountant one time, and he looked at my shipping costs. He said, "This can't be right. I ship a lot." So, you ever deal in Dunhill? What do you think of them? Oh, they're really quite nice. They don't come around very often, though. I don't have very many that show up. Everyone you talked is waiting for the gold nib legacy variant. It looks good. I tell you what, though, the few steel nibs I had, none of them lasted more than a day. So I realized yesterday I didn't actually rinse these and spit them out, so I'm gonna Whoever invented the idea of free shipping is truly evil, but you have to do it. Yeah, yeah. I don't mind doing it. It's just when it goes somewhere outside of the Midwest, then it costs extra. You know, it costs $12 to ship a package. And if it's a $60 package and I lose $12 on it, I'm really not making that much money. You know, I'm gaining the customer, hopefully for life. So, you know, I'll make it up in volume, but most Dunhills are made by Pelican, Elise, Reform, or Mont Blanc. Yeah, Dunhill sidecar. Yeah, I had one of those last year. Interesting. Waldman did some. Yeah. I don't think Dunhill doesn't make anything but cigars, right? They don't make their own anything. All right. Salad spinner. Step right up. Small collection of Dunhill Namiki may be available soon. Where's the bank we're going to rob? They don't even make their own lighters? Well then. Does the spinner fully dry the pen? It does a really pretty good job. It really accelerates the process. I mean, you can sit here, and I used to sit here and shake them into a garbage can. My wrist would be sore by the end of the day. But you can do this, and it gets most of it out. I like Dunhill Namibia. That's kind of nice. Dunhill Namibia. That's when you know it's fake. And look, I just bought a Dunhill Namibia. You couldn't stand watching me do that, so you had to send the salad spinner? You're too kind. They asked me to bring it to Pen Club again this month because some people didn't get a chance to see it last month. I'm charging a viewing fee next month if they ask me to bring it in again. You wonder if more salad spinners are used by pen people than those actually making salads? I've got a friend and a client at Pen Club, and he said to me, he says, apparently his wife's got one, and so he says, when I see that thing come out, he goes, I know, there's a salad coming. It was too funny. It was too funny. Turns out you priced limited edition vanishing points for me in July of 2020. Wow, was it 5 years ago? It may still be close. I wouldn't be surprised. So we got to fix this one yet, but I'm gonna let that thing soak for another day. It's got to be that tube. It can't possibly. I mean, Unless something happened, we put this together. We've eliminated the section. We've eliminated the barrel. It's got to be in that part. So we're going to close that up. Where is, oh, there it is. All right, so I've got these guys. Are you the only person who panics if you don't have the pen soaking? No, I don't need another tube project. Thank you. Thank you. I have others. What I might do is I might pull another tube out and put the tube in that sack protector in the sack and make sure something didn't happen to the sack, which seems kind of unlikely, but it is possible. Yeah, unless the sack has a pinhole. I'm still feeling a little resistance on the snorkel tube, though. So we're going to see what we can do with that. I don't really want to deal with this nib on this lot. I want to get a better nib than this. Oop. There we go. That's yeah. Whatever was in there, it just shifted position. Yeah, I've got some rapidoids around here somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Hang on, someone's here. Sorry, Amazon. Yeah, I'm trying. I just don't know where it is. All right, what do we got? We got 1555. We just need a better nib on this pen. So there's a nib here. What is this? Oh well, maybe I don't need that. So I still don't see Ellen in the chat, so Ellen must be hanging low today. Got something better to do than watch me fix pens. We're just going to continue on. She's going to make a road trip here and looking at these. Two nurses' pens. And she wanted a medium nib, so let's just start with that and make it easy. Ellen needs a 2312 or an 8440. Neither of those are medium. I never did get the pen open that had that, what was that, 9212, 2312 in it? Never got it open. Never came open. So, I don't know, she's gonna stop by the shop, so the shop is available by appointment. Obviously not between 1:30 and 5. She's gonna come back and watch this and hear where we're talking about. Told you it wouldn't be long before Lisa will be setting up a retail section of that new shop. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I've been in retail a long time, right? Even before the pen business. You know, in pens for, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years maybe. I don't even remember. I lost count. And I gotta admit, for a while, I'm gonna enjoy at the end of the day. I mean, I get stuff done, which is really what needs to happen. I mean, I always enjoy talking with folks, but for now, it needs to be this way for my own sanity. But like I say, I do, you know, if you're traveling in the area and you want to stop by, customers so nice to have are an entirely different monkey when they're in person. Yeah, I mean, you know, when you devote your attention 100% to them, which means you're doing absolutely nothing else. And right now we're still in the building phase. I got a lot of brands and a lot of SKUs that I want to buy over the next, whatever, through the end of the year. I mean, heck, just in the next month. I can't plan out more than 1 month in advance. We got kind of a intermediate. We've got a short-term list and we've got a kind of intermediate term list. But yeah, if you're in the area, shoot me an email and you want to stop by and look at some vintage pens. You're more than welcome to do so. My hours are very limited. And you most certainly can pick up anything that's on the website, but it's basically a warehouse. There's no, you can't. Everything is behind a counter on a shelf. You can't really browse. You have to. I want a Midori 15235-006. Great, got it. Here you go. That's kind of how it is, unfortunately. I need a bottle of Lamy Blue. Perfect. Here it is. Talc, yes, this is talc. Pure talc. When did manufacturers start labeling nibs fine, medium, broad? Labeling them. Yeah, they were sold that way from the very beginning. The earliest use of those letters on the nibs would be the 1940s, unless you're wrong. Schaefer used them on nibs in the early 1950s. Yeah, like your F1s and things like that. Yeah, Esterbrook labeled all the nibs with the codes, but the codes are like so cryptic. Nobody knows why they chose the numbers they chose, right? Other than they're related to the dip pen nibs of the same number, less the thousands digit. Of course, was used until broad until the 1920s. Yeah. Esterbrook, yeah. So pilot mark nibs with manifold, stenographer, of course, oblique, bookkeeper, and the like in the 1930s. But then they only did that for special nibs. Fine, medium, broad were not specially labeled. Although they were labeled with the Japanese characters, right? Even in the 60s, even the fine, medium, and the broad characters. I could be a little too early on that number. Maybe it wasn't that early. 60s, yeah. All right. Pelican used a system of M for broad and S for medium up until the 60s on round point. French used L instead of broad. Yep. Yeah, I mean, for a long time too, right? I mean, there's some fairly recent modern Waterman nibs that are marked L for broad. Lindsay's spray. Love you too. Yeah, Esterbrook did their numbering as early as 19 early 30s, very early 30s. Although before that, they would have been marked like relief broad, relief medium, or just relief. Come on. Well, it's hard. All sorts of nerdy German stuff going on YouTube over here. K for Kugel, D for Durschieber, carbon copy nib, and S for Schiebenfader. That's my terrible German. There we go. If you add them all up, there's 64 nib combinations for Pelican prior to 1967. Is that 64 different nibs? Or 64 different nib variations? You know what I mean? Like, they may have changed the design or... I mean, Esterbrook always advertised 32, but 64 different nibs. Wow. There's a typeset for you. Get all 64. You thought getting a Waterman number 7 color set was going to be bad enough. Wow. All right. You know, this has only taken like what? It seems like it's been 3 weeks. All right, should we ink these guys up? Because then I got some pens. I got a couple more to test. We're gonna polish the barrels too. I expect the first three to be exceptional. Only because these are new old stock nibs. Yeah. Tired of looking at these on my desk, so I gotta finish them today. Pretty nice. It's hard to beat a new nib. Yeah, they're really nice to use. I like these a lot. 2668, really a great, solid performing nib. I like the 1461. I never used to like it, and then I started using it, and it's really a very nice nib. It is bent downward ever so slightly. I gotta fix this lever here. It's kind of like a Concord almost. Reader Kevin, problems typing on the phone today, buddy? Is the Greg nib any good? Well, so the answer is it depends, right? 1555 Greg. Note they also made early on they made a 1554 Greg. But the common one is the 1555. We used to call them back in the day. We used to call them the paper shredder. They're fine. They're sharp. They're crisp. Exactly perfect for the task at hand, which is writing shorthand. Not always great for everyday writing. But what I've come to find over the years is usually those pens that were in that paper shredder category really needed to be tuned. This is a 1555 Greg here, so we'll see what it's how well this one performs. Yeah, this one writes how I would expect it to write. You know, maybe a minor little bit of feedback. But you can write quickly. You like the 9450, the manifold? You're gonna stop typing. It's just if the 1555 has not been damaged, it's really a pretty good nib. I no longer shy away from them like I used to. Now, one could probably say that about many of them, but I don't. There are some Esterbrook nibs I'm not a huge fan of. I never will be. I don't care if they're brand new out of the box. I've never met a 9284 nib that I liked. Ever. 2550s, not a big fan. 9550, yeah, I like the 9550 better than the 55, which is a Greg nib. The Osmoids do fit. Yes, Osmoids fit vintage Esterbrook. They do not fit modern Esterbrook with the MV nib adapter. But yes, you can. In fact, I have a couple pens right now on the website with Osmoid nibs in them. And the reason they don't fit the modern Esterbrook is because the Osborne nib has a feed uh, that sticks out the back. There's a little bit of whereas the Esterbrook nib is flat on the end. The Osmoid nib has this little extension here. Modern Esterbrook's are way too big for, yeah, they're generally speaking, they're very large. Probably a pen that size was never on the original Esterbrook's radar. Have you considered doing a nib chart with all of them, even the rare numbers? If you go to esterbrook.net, there is a page that has all of the Esterbrook nibs on it. Platinum nibs? No, Platinum doesn't fit. Venus fits, and there's a handful of others. Alloy tipped, and there's a couple other nibs that fit. My nib chart does not. I have to look and see what it's got on it. Yes, I believe it does. It's got the 5s and 7s on it too. I mean, there's not many 5s and 7s. There's like, what are there? Maybe 6 of each. I may not have the 4s. I will say it's despite what other people say, it is the most complete and the best, the most accurate nib resource page there is. The 3s are basically what was later the 9s. Well, yeah, there was no 3 that wasn't a 9. There are some websites that have nibs listed. I think I don't know, but I suspect they are trying to use the logic that if the pen came in a 1000 and a 2000, a 9000 series nib, it also came in a 1 and a 2. That is not entirely correct. So they have, some websites have nibs listed that in 30 years of collecting, I've never once seen referenced. And I just don't believe, they're correct. So maybe my list has fewer nibs than others, and maybe we could consider it conservative, but I guarantee that every nib that's on my list does actually exist. Here's another Greg. Originally, when bought, did they come with 1000 series and then one upgraded as desired, or were the pens nibless? The way the Esterbrook tried to train the salespeople to sell. AJ Ryan, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Was to sell the customer on the nib first. Well, what kind of nib do you like? Do you like fine? Do you like medium? Do you like broad? Do you like flexible? Sell them on the nib first. Then move on to the holder. What size pen do you like? Do you like the small? Do you like the medium? Do you large? Which color do you like? Then once you've picked the nib, you've picked the holder, the dealer would then go and say, okay, well, they want the largest size with the 2668 nib. They would see if they actually had it in stock. If not, they were instructed to remove the paper label from the pen and throw it away, because the pens came from the factory with, obviously with nibs and labeled J 2668, $1. And since you picked the nib first and then the color, you didn't just go to the say, I like that blue one. What nibs it got in? Oh, medium, great, I'll take it. That wasn't how it was supposed to go. They wanted to sell you on the quality of the nib first. Which is why you very rarely see the paper labels, because they just slipped off and they threw them in the trash. Your newest stock ones all had nib code stickers. Yeah, so they switched to stickers later on at some point in the late 40s. And then later on, they eliminated, they started doing double stickers. One for the size, one for the nib. Because if something happened, now you had a pen that doesn't have a label. Silver grade double stickers, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, there's a white variant too, if you really want to get picky. Most of them are silver. A couple of different versions of letter colors. I mean, I don't know who would go down that rabbit hole of trying to collect all the different variants of the stickers. But and a couple later pastels just have an F sticker, like a whitish tan. Yeah, it's white. Yeah. So yeah, they came from the factory with nibs, with stickers or price bands. But if especially if you pick something weird, like I need to have a 2312. Well, there was, I'm pretty sure there was no sticker that said 2312 on it. So I'm guessing that's like the LK and such era where we start getting the fine, medium, broad, and then the model sticker. Yeah, well, yep. LK era, you still would get a sticker with the number on it. The fine, medium, and broad nibs, which essentially are the 2556, 2668, and 2968, really didn't come until you're looking into the 60s. Maybe M2s, for sure, CX100. Might have only started with the CX100, I can't remember. Because your A101s and CA101s still had numbers on it. 2556, 1551, 1555 on the stickers. Which was after the LK. Now you're going to have to dig and look out of curiosity. I tell you what, whenever I find Esterbrook's in the wild, if they have a paper label, I keep it. Just giving you a project. Oops, sorry. If it's got a paper label, guess what? You'll almost never see a paper label Esterbrook for sale on my site because I keep it. They are so very scarce. All right, let's spin these out. Ellen, I hope you come back and watch this. Not, we'll see you soon. Brian puts on his cowboy hat, boots, and lasso before he goes into the wild for the elusive vintage pen hunt. I haven't worn cowboy boots since I was like in 4th grade. I told Lisa I was considering getting some, and she gave me that look. And y'all married folks and folks who've been with a partner for a long time know what the look is. And no pen hunting in the Corvette either. It doesn't hold enough. You would be surprised how much that thing holds. It holds a lot. I'll say this: I've never bought a collection big enough that wouldn't fit in the bag. When Dave and I went to go visit Richard Binder to do his nib seminar, the two of us each had, we had duffel bags. We each had a duffel bag. We each had a pillow. We each had a backpack. There was a cooler. I think I was dropping something off at Lisa's mom's house on the way. And then when we got to her house, I got rid of one box, but ended up bringing back two like 6-foot long, what do you call them? Rag. I'm going to get the term screwed up. Rag rug, which are heavy as all get out. And a couple of other things. I mean, we got a lot in that car. I bet if you could try it, you could get about 5,000 pens in that thing. No cowboy boots for you. The look has a ton of power. It sure does, doesn't it? Your dad used to sell Electrolux, and he knew how to load his Cadillac to the hilt with them. Yeah, they weren't small either, were they? Actually, we're getting very close to putting the Corvette away for this rest of the year. I would love to take it to the Ohio show, but first weekend in November, it's really pretty sketchy, especially driving around the lakes. You know, if I get more than a quarter inch of snow, I'm dead in the water on those things. So yeah, and that's coming up 5 weeks. You can't wear any of your cowboy boots anymore. They're too big. I should wear a cowboy hat to a pen show just to confuse everyone. No snow chains for the Corvette? No. I drove it in the snow exactly once. And at the time, the store was a half a mile away from the house. And I needed to go to the bank, which was about 3 blocks from the store. So I had to, in the wrong direction. So I got to the bank to make the bank deposit at the end of the day. But I almost couldn't get home. I mean, it was only, it really wasn't 3 blocks the wrong way. It was south a couple of blocks, but it was a couple blocks closer west. So it was probably still a half mile. And I almost couldn't get home in the snow. It was really that bad. Huge big foam cowboy hat for an amusement park. All right, there we go. Those are nice. I'm going to polish. I'm going to write a note here. Anybody have a pen? I just need to polish the barrels. I'm astounded that this wrote up because I haven't used this pen in, I don't know if I used it last week. Matching pink boots. Now, come on, guys. All right, next up. Find a place to put this here. I am running out of room. That. All right, so this pen came in yesterday. Pink boots would be a challenge to keep clean. But as much of a challenge as one of the latest trends in cycling, road cycling, is white shoes. I can't even fathom white shoes and white socks. I won't. I switched to ages ago. I'm done with white socks for cycling. It's not a good. It's never a good look. Black socks only for cycling. And shoes in any color other than a light color. White shoes, so this my appointment yesterday afternoon was for this guy. My challenge is to complete it while he's on vacation so I can ship it to his hotel because he's not coming back. Unfortunately, normally he would come in and then pick it up like a week later or something, but he's not coming back around this time, so I've got to finish it up. Are you supposed to show how affluent you are by having a fresh pair of white cycling shoes for every day you ride? It's nuts. I don't understand these people. I don't think it looks good. And I will admit, I bought I bought shoes based on their color, so that they matched my bike. I have a red bike, so I bought red shoes. Which, in hindsight, was really a terrible decision because I didn't buy the right red shoes, I guess. The other faux pas, I think, is matching your handlebar tape to the color of your bike. I once almost had a stroke when the bike shop did some work on my bike, and when I came in, they had given me like this white and black and red. Playing cards and smokes? No, not quite. White. I think it was white and red, and maybe there was a little black speckled bar tape on my red bike. And like, who told you to do that? I didn't tell you to do that. I don't want that at all. It was just hideous. I mean, white bar tape? That's like white shoes. It's like white socks. It was awful. I mean, it was it's a really nice bike. And I mean, it was, I mean, it still is, but in its day, it was really, And I looked at the guy and he said, "Oh man, I thought that would be really cool for you." I'm like, my mechanic now, I walk in and she's like, "Okay." I said, "I need bar tape." She goes, "Black, right?" I said, "Always black. Don't ever ask me if I want any other color other than black. If I say any color other than black, call my doctor." Your garage is looking pumpkinish? All right, Juicy. Have a good night. There are certain things that should only be certain color. Bar tape should never have white in it. So we got a senior duofold here, it looks like, in the burgundy. What color helmet? My current helmet is blue. But I have again, I don't ride much outside. Actually, my um, the bike I mostly ride outside these days is a blue Fuji, so it matches. I used to have a red helmet. Important questions. Couldn't get the bar out. Because the dilapidated sack is kind of in the way. Gotta go. See you tomorrow. Yep. Thanks, Friedrich. Stay safe. Have a great day. All right. Boy, oh boy. You got to see this. I don't know if you can even see this. That's the sack. I don't think they could have used a larger sack size. Well, I mean, it's impossible. We're going to get this started. Boy, is that hard. Usually I like to scrape this stuff off before I throw it in the ultrasonic because I don't want this crap to get stuck in the ultrasonic and then clog up the hose and the drain. But I think I need to soften it up. It's not coming off. So the whole sack is stuck to the wall. Inside wall of the barrel. We're just going to soak that. We might get lucky and it will get a little softer. There's not much left in the tray. Ever use a narrow bottle brush to do a final cleaning of barrels and caps? What I use is, this is what I use. It's a nylon bristle brush. This one is actually, I've trimmed it down a little bit. This is actually a trumpet mouthpiece brush. You can get it at any music stores. They're originally tapered a little bit. I also use, I've got some around here somewhere, woodwind mouthpiece brushes. They're also nylon bristle. They're usually a little bit shorter and they have a much larger cone. So, I mean, you know, beggars can't be choosers sometimes. I just trimmed the bristles down. You can kind of see how it's a little uneven here. But this is what I use. It works pretty well. It's amazing how much better this Dremel works now that I charged the battery up. Your dad used to sell those? See if we can reuse this. It seems a little bit of a bend in it, but don't really like that bend, but let's see if we can straighten it out. Just a little better. We'll see if it holds. It might not hold. Sometimes when they get bent, you can't fix them. Oh, looks good. You can find narrow brushes like that in the grocery store. They're used to clean stainless steel straws. Oh, yeah. They're that big, though? Yeah, Lisa's got some of those. She loves her brushes. I used to get these. Some are, okay, interesting. I used to get these when I worked at the music store. And we would sell cleaning kits. to the kids that are in like middle school band or high school band or whatever, to keep your instrument clean. You know, to have this is where these polish cloths are from. You know, Selmer lacquer. They'd have a polish cloth. There'd be a mouthpiece brush. There'd be, you know, there might be a snake, which is essentially a long brush to run through the instruments. Different instruments had different things in them. Some valve oil for the trumpets, and, you know, valved instruments. But, you know, we get the instruments back on rental at the end of the year, and there'd be like you know, there'd be whatever's in the case gets tossed, right? I mean, you can't resell a cleaning kit or a polish cloth. And I'd be like, well, you know, you're going to toss that in the garbage. I'll just take that because I don't care. So I've had them for quite a while. Your dad carried them for milk farms. They use them to clean the hoses. Yeah, I actually put, it's kind of funny you say that. I put this one, I braided a wire, which is, you know, stupid, but it serves two purposes, because I can never find this stupid brush, because I always have it. If you could see in front of I wouldn't even want to show you in front of my ultrasonic. It's a disaster. I got micro mesh there. I got, you know, all sorts of stuff going on. But I can never find it. So I have that on there. But its main purpose was to clean the ultrasonic drain tube, which, you know, over time gets filled with all sorts of really nasty stuff. But I can shove it down and then I can pull it back. You can pull it out. Some of his customers had a nickname for him. Do I want to hear this? Mr. Haney from the TV show Green Acres. Well, that goes back a ways, doesn't it? So the funny thing happened last night. Lisa and I were watching the TV show Brilliant Minds, if you've ever seen it. It's kind of like if you ever watched House, it's kind of like that. And we hit the last episode of season 1. Well, guess what? Season 2 starts tonight. So that worked out pretty well. We didn't plan it that way, but boy, this is just it's a good show. It's if you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. Well, we're getting there. Missing a towel. That'll do. Those pieces are probably good. Toss that in there. Oh, we got a little ink in that cap. This is why I love duofolds. Pretty browns. It's actually more of a burgundy. It's a burgundy. Maybe it's the color of the monitor or something, but it's a burgundy and black. It is pretty though. You're absolutely right. It is a really gorgeous looking pen. When I found out how much he paid for it, I was like, ooh. Can't get them all. This might need a little further soak here. Well, he's got enough room in the price to afford the restoration. It's going to be a good looking pen when it's done. I may throw that in the ultrasonic again tomorrow. It's not quite finished, I don't think. Boy, did it harden up. Something fierce, this sack. Strong stuff. Yeah, that cleaned out nicely. Got to run down. All right. Have a good evening. See you next time. Yeah, I'm going to probably bail here pretty soon, but I'm going to throw these back in the ultrasonic for a minute. I might put them in the Dr. G's and are we there? Are we there yet? Quite. There's one little piece. There we go. So much of this is on feel. There's always a bit left, yeah. And it's so much harder to see, and it's so much harder to do when it's wet, but sometimes it softens it up a little bit. somewhere around here I've got, I do have a light, but sometimes you can't tell if you've like gotten it free and you pushed it off, or if it's you just missed a spot. All right. Finally. Now the bonus is all the crud has been washed off the outside. We'll let that dry. We'll look at it again tomorrow. I don't see any change in my snorkel tube there. We'll come back to it tomorrow. Tomorrow, next day. I get another snorkel tube and I'll see if it works. Maybe it's a sack problem. I'm just going to drop this in here just for a little bit. All right. If I get a sack on here today, we can get this reassembled tomorrow. We will try not to put something so big in there that it'll cause a problem like last time. That'll probably work all right. Flows through really, really good, so I'm not gonna. Pump this water on anyway, so I'm gonna. Am I plotting or planning any weekend adventures? No, not this weekend, probably. Um, well, that's adventure is not maybe the right term, but I I am taking Lisa out on a what was supposed to be a secret dinner date until she discovered it in the calendar. So we're doing that on Saturday night. So I'm looking forward to that. Nice steak place here in town. Really a great place to eat, and it's yeah, it's gonna be nice. We don't go nearly enough. I mean, I'm not fooling anybody. It's not a place you go to every week. Yeah, I didn't keep it secret enough apparently, and she's terrible with secrets. So when she discovered it, she could have not said anything because I needed to put it in. I wanted to put it in my calendar, so I did it on Open Table. Thanks, Hans, for the idea. And I put it in there only because I had, reservation number. Now, this place is never. You try my best to help you keep the reservation. I know. I didn't think she had access to this calendar. And sure enough, one day she's like, "Oh, we're going to eat at Lombardi's." Oh, son of a, she could have just like not said anything. But she did. But at least now she knows. So the big thing is going to be, getting dressed. Yeah, she can look forward to it. What dress does she want to wear? So it'll be nice. It'll be nice. But that's it. Boy, what side do I like here? There's this big splotch of black right here. I think if we covered it up with the clip, it's probably the best use of that space. So I think that's where I'm going to put the clip. I didn't pay attention to where it was before, but it could have been anywhere. That'll split that black space up. Was she actively looking for the secret? No, she wasn't. She was just looking through we've got a number of calendars. I've got my own personal calendar. We've got a family calendar. We've got the business calendar. We got a couple different, she's got her own calendar. And so she was kind of looking at the calendar and she was looking 4 weeks ahead for some reason. I don't know why. And there it was in the wide open. So my bad for doing it. Yeah, it is a really nice color for duofolds. It's one of the few you own, huh? Yeah, I don't do plastic really. But it would be nice to have a typeset of the seniors. One in each of the colors. So I think that's a good stopping point for this guy. We'll reassemble tomorrow. We'll see. It would cost a fortune. Well, I mean, if they're not perfect, it wouldn't cost a fortune. And I'm not talking about getting the lapis, the blue on blue and the blue on white, and the mandarin with yellow threads and the mandarin with black. I'd like one of each. And then you don't have to have a free duofold, lucky curve, and jade. You hear set. Yeah, I'm talking typeset, right? One jade, one lapis, one mandarin, one burgundy. All the others that I'm missing. Yeah. Bombay and brown. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Not hard rubber. I mean, not bandless. Just one of each of the colors. One in black, I guess. You got to have black, right? The Duofold in vac plastic. Now, you're just getting silly. You're just getting silly. Yeah, that I don't know. That takes kind of some of the fun out of it, right? I mean, unless you have the means to do that, it would cost a fortune. It absolutely. And you got to have somebody. Then there's what is it? There's the bumblebee, the yellow and black striped one. Bandless black. A bandless black would be nice, right? That's one I've never had is bandless black. Never had a bandless black in my life. Unless it was a short, a junior or something, never a senior. Anyway. All right, so we got that. We should be able to test, and hopefully this you'd be satisfied with just a bandless black and red. Yeah, the bandless red's expensive. That's with the large dual fold imprint, of course, in hard rubber. So we've got this. We'll hopefully we'll wrap this up tomorrow. We'll get back to that Snorkel tomorrow, maybe. I have that vac and the 51 demi vac that came in on consignment. Those definitely need to be restored, and we will get to testing those to make sure that those fill. I was instructed that they've all been restored except for 2 pens. Have a great night. Expect an email at some point. Pricing up. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back to you about some of that stuff. We'll figure it out. I mean, if you're in a rush, let me know. But it's been a nutty week, and then no. Okay, good. Yeah, I've been working with your brother, and it's been which has been good. It's been really good, but it's. And then something else came up last night, which I'll tell you about eventually. So it's been a crazy week. But anyway, yeah, we got to test those pens so I can get them photographed next week, and maybe we can get some up because there's some really killer pens in there for sure. So anyway, there we have it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great evening. Great afternoon, great morning if you're not hanging out here in the States. And be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow, all right? Take care. Bye now.